Imagine a giant stage where the lights dim, and only one name echoes through the air: Taehyung. In the thick silence, the public waits for words, while HYBE chooses to remain in utter silence. That silence reverberates even louder when one sharp line of sarcasm from Taehyung seems to slice through the air, making everyone hold their breath. This narrative is not merely about music, not merely about an artist and an agency. It is about a voice trying to pierce through a wall of silence. HYBE's silence breeds more questions than answers. Every passing second feels like a ticking time bomb, waiting to explode. On the other side, Taehyung stands with an aura of mystery. His gaze seems to hold hidden messages, a sarcasm cloaked in elegance. His words are not just meant to be heard, but to be interpreted. And the public is drawn into this game of riddles. There is bitterness within the silence, as if a great story is being locked away by HYBE. Yet Taehyung chooses another path, a path filled with metaphors, sarcasm, and veiled honesty. His courage is like a torch in the dark, burning even as the wind blows. The public is no longer just watching, they are feeling. Curiosity presses on their chests, forcing them to wonder, what is truly happening behind the agency's thick walls? And why is it Taehyung who dares to reveal it through sarcasm? Each sentence he utters is a piece of a puzzle. The more he says, the more it feels that something bigger is being hidden. HYBE is silent, but the echo of that silence strikes harder than any shout. Perhaps this is why Taehyung's sarcasm cuts so deep. He does not speak loudly, but his words are arrows that hit their mark. His refined rhetoric captivates the public, even while the true meaning remains shrouded in mist. And the longer HYBE stays silent, the bigger the stage becomes for Taehyung. Every gesture, every expression, turns into material for analysis. The world seems to have transformed into a vast courtroom, where the public is judge, spectator, and endlessly curious. No one can resist the pull of this drama. Like a thriller film that makes the audience grip their seats tightly, this story continues to stir emotions. Anxiety, anger, and curiosity blend into one. In the end, HYBE's silence is not just silence. It is either strategy or avoidance. But will the public be satisfied with answers that never come? Or will they instead applaud Taehyung's courage, choosing to speak when everyone else remains silent? One thing is certain, this story has only just begun, and every word that leaves Taehyung's lips is fuel feeding the fire. Questions hang in the air, refusing to fade. Now everyone waits for the next chapter. Will HYBE finally break their silence, or will Taehyung once again release sharper sarcasm? In this uncertainty, the story finds its power. Captivating, unsettling, and impossible to ignore. HYBE's silence has created a gulf of speculation. The public wonders, is this neglect a communication strategy, or simply a way to delay the truth? Yet the longer the answers don't arrive, the greater suspicion grows. In the entertainment industry, where reputations can collapse with just one rumor, the absence of an official voice feels like playing with fire in a dry forest. Taehyung, on the other hand, never truly chooses ordinary words. Each sentence is layered with complex emotions. A little bitter, a little brave, and full of mysterious allure. He does not point fingers directly, but with elegant sarcasm, he lets the public interpret the meaning themselves. In a world dominated by corporate narratives, sarcasm becomes a subtle act of resistance. Taehyung does not shout, does not demand loudly, but he knows that once those words are spoken, their echo will be louder than any long speech. Sarcasm becomes the language of defiance, sharp, yet still artistic. This divides the fans. Some see Taehyung as a brave figure exposing hidden truths. Others think his sarcasm is too risky, potentially worsening relations with his agency. The question arises, is he resisting, or merely reminding? This phenomenon reveals one clear truth. The public will never be satisfied with silence. In the age of social media, every pause is an empty space quickly filled with speculation, gossip, and even conspiracy. Absolute silence only accelerates the birth of wild narratives. For HYBE, this is a boomerang. Instead of quelling issues, their silence amplifies the spotlight on Taehyung. Every post, every glance, every note in his songs is seen as carrying hidden meaning. as if the world now revolves entirely around him. What Taehyung does can be read as the determination of an artist refusing to be silenced. He knows that art is not only about aesthetics, but also about voice. When that voice is held back, he chooses his own path, embedding sarcasm that cannot be ignored. Taehyung seems to want to say that silence is not an option. He understands the risks, but the courage to speak outweighs the comfort of staying quiet. This is where the public connects with him, because they see his bravery as a reflection of their own yearning for honesty. This conflict is not just about an artist and an agency, but about how grand narratives are built in the entertainment industry. HYBE may think silence is the safe path, but the public demands transparency. And Taehyung, through sarcasm, has ignited a flame not easily extinguished. Looking ahead, a few possibilities emerge. HYBE may finally be forced to speak, or they may retreat even further into silence. If they speak, the world will listen warily, dissecting every word. If they remain silent, Taehyung's next sarcasm could erupt like thunder, perhaps shaking the very foundation they have built. Now, this story sits at a critical point. HYBE remains quiet. Taehyung still holds sarcasm ready to be launched at any moment, and the public waits with bated breath. Within this silence, the most thrilling drama is born, where a single sarcasm holds more weight than 1,000 official statements. Will HYBE remain silent? Or will they realize that silence has turned into a scream? One thing is clear: the public will not stop seeking answers. And as long as those answers don't come, every step Taehyung takes will remain the center of the universe. Captivating, unsettling, and impossible to ignore. Over time, HYBE's silence no longer appears as a choice, but as a symbol of rigidity. The public begins to interpret it as a fragile wall, one that could collapse any time under growing pressure. Rumors, fan analyses, and media speculation rise like colliding waves. Taehyung stands in the eye of that storm. Yet instead of being swept away, he turns the storm into his stage. Every move, every sentence, becomes a spark that makes the flames of controversy burn brighter. He doesn't seek attention, but attention comes to him, like an inescapable gravity. Uniquely, this story is not written by the agency or the artist alone. The public, too, takes on the role of narrator. They craft theories, connect fragments of Taehyung's words, and even dig through old archives for clues. The digital world has become a massive investigation room, with millions trying to uncover hidden truths. Yet the more theories arise, the blurrier the line between fact and fiction becomes. This is the irony of silence. It gives imagination total freedom. And in that freedom, Taehyung's name shines even brighter, though wrapped in tension. There are moments when Taehyung's sarcasm feels like music itself. His words linger in minds, repeated like lyrics that refuse to fade. He doesn't need to name names, doesn't need to raise his voice, for every word is already sharp enough to stir hearts. For some, this is art. Sarcasm that is subtle yet biting, like a melody both beautiful and sorrowful. For others, this is defiance, the bravery of an individual against a powerful institution. Meanwhile, HYBE is trapped by the shadows of its own strategy. They may hope the storm will subside if no response is given. But precisely because of that, the storm only grows, like winds swelling into a typhoon. The public begins to draw contrasts. Taehyung, speaking through sarcasm, and HYBE, choosing silence. The difference is stark, resembling a classic drama between the voice of an individual and the silence of authority. Over time, the sarcasm becomes more than just words. It becomes a symbol, a spark fueling a growing resistance. Fans feel empowered to speak out, the media feels driven to dig deeper, and the entertainment world witnesses how a single sentence can shake the system.